part about covering stuff in the middle of the season.
Yeah, man. Super exciting stuff.
Heck yeah. So, if you're new to the channel, this is Pet Patrol Star Wars. He does Star Wars what ifs pretty regularly. I don't know if anyone has a vigorous a schedule that you have as far as dropping quality, lengthy what ifs. But make sure you go check them out. You can just hit the in the title. You should be tagged Pet Patrol Star Wars. But yeah, we're gonna be just hanging out for a bit because tomorrow we've got two Bad Batch episodes, not just one, but two. That's a nice, nice little treat.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be super exciting.
Yeah, do we know? I guess I mean I was gonna say how long they are, but I'm guessing they'll be pretty standard. Like 25, 30 minutes or so. But it's basically like an hour window.
Yeah, should be a good length episodes, hopefully.
Like yeah. So how many? So is this episode 6 and 7 that are releasing, or is it like 7 and 8? How many episodes have we got so far?
6 and 7, I think. That's
Okay.
what it should be, 6 and 7.
Okay, yeah. So we got that first 3 episode arc, which obviously we did a stream together right before, and that's kind of the last time we streamed about it, making all those predictions. That was a great stream. Had a lot of fun there.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts, I guess, with those first 3 episodes and that arc? Like, what did you think of it?
Oh, that was, I mean, wonderful storytelling, honestly. I mean, like seeing Omega's change in the in the first episode was like really kind of heart-wrenching because like you see like the first, I guess, day or two that she's there, and then you get like this big transition to like what would be several months afterwards, and that was kind of like whoa. And then the second episode was a cool episode where you could see like those clone recruits, possibly the ones that we saw on Camino during the first season, and then the third one being the breakout, which was great. But no, I thought it was all fantastic. How about you?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. For some reason, some people are saying they're experiencing it like our camera's frozen. What? Because you're not frozen for me, so that doesn't make any sense. Um,
Really?
yeah, I'm gonna give me 1 second here. I'm gonna, I guess, how do I do this without doing anything odd? I guess I want to answer your question, but apparently you're frozen. Is Pen actually? So like I'm not frozen, but you're frozen. How does that even work? It's literally from the same window. You're not frozen on my screen. Talk about
It's
technical. What? Okay. Hmm. Let me let me just try to capture a new. We're do. It's a live show, people. It's a live show. But this one, I'm not gonna take any blame on this one. I'm gonna blame YouTube on this because on my end, everything looks good. Um, okay, no capture live. Scored. Okay, okay. I'm just gonna go like this and then like this. Um, we should be good. Should be good.
yeah.
Let me know. Let me know. Can you guys see? Can you guys what even is going on? Okay. I'm trying to get rid of. Okay, I think I got it. Can you? Okay, I fixed it. I fixed it. I'm a wizard. Okay. All
Woo,
right,
let's
on the
go.
fly. On the fly. Okay, I can actually talk Star Wars now. Okay.
Yay.
So yeah, the first 3 episodes. I just want to say my favorite episode of those three was definitely the first one. I actually really liked like the slower pace and just getting into the day to day kind of life of Omega. Just the walking by Crosshair each day to start and just kind of seeing that and then seeing her talk for all those days and weeks and months to him and that kind of development. The little things like, feeding Batcher and just getting a deeper look of like what it would be like in that facility. Because I feel like in a show like Bad Batch, where sometimes it's a little bit plug and chuggy. We got a mission, we go to this planet, we get our objective, and we get out. They slew it down a little bit, took a step back for us to kind of just kind of observe and see how a character changes, and Omega definitely changes during that arc, and I do appreciate that. And I was actually super surprised that they in that 3 episode arc they're breaking out of the facility just like that, because I didn't know if that was going to be like, I think we were talking, speculating, like, is that going to be the first half of the season, and then the second half they do something greater? So it was definitely a surprise for me that they got out early. What did you think of that?
Actually, I was surprised as well, but I think it worked better that way because like if they spent the entire first half of the season like kind of getting out of there, it may have dragged on a bit too long. Whereas like showing, like you said, the slower pace in the first episodes, like some of the peak Star Wars of Bad Batch, like it's just like you really get to see like not just the change on Omega where she has longer hair, but like the tallies that she has in the window and how she's almost become a part of the system. It almost shows how like dreary the Empire has become. But
Yeah.
like I think it worked better that they didn't spend the first week, or not the first week, but the first half of the season working through um, getting out of Tantus. But I also think it's great that they released those 3 episodes in a row because, like, it would have been brutal. Like, wonder what's gonna happen next week for those 3 episodes, and
Yeah.
we got all 3 of them at the same time, which was great.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's definitely, I think, pros and cons to it. But I was generally like very positive mindset, and if anything, like just being that they break out of the prison early like that, they accomplish so much early, giving us so much room for what we've got in these other episodes as well. I think I had this discussion with some people from Stay on Target, talking about how, I guess for them, maybe some of the weight of the first 3 episodes, like because they were released all at once, it didn't feel as long of a change, I guess. Which I could see that as well. But I think it was like a good move to release that arc. It really moved along the story nicely. And now I don't really know, I guess, where we're gonna be at. Like, it does definitely seem like Mount Tantus itself is like the big storyline, but is it the overarching storyline, or will there be more? Like, what do you think?
Uh, the way that it seems, at least coming from Echo, it seems like the clones know about Tantus, and so like it could be even more explanation for, I guess, why something with Sidious didn't change until after Return of the Jedi, because like perhaps there's something that happens on Tantus that screws up their entire process. Because I mean, Palpatine seemed really enthralled with what was seen on Tantus that we didn't see, but like I'm sure we might see that Zillow beast again, because I mean, like in the 3rd episode when Palpatine was in that secret lair, like there was something moving back there, in the background. So like I don't know what it is, but I feel like the main objective. I mean, we get, what is tonight? Tonight is infiltration and something else. Is it?
I didn't
It's
check.
infiltration and extraction.
Okay. Well, I like that. I
Yeah.
like the sound of that. If that's the case, then it sounds like we'll be progressing the storyline further, and that's what I wanted, because I don't necessarily want the entirety of the season to be spent on Mount Tantus. I think it's a really cool idea, but I'd love to see something completely new, or like more of the clone uprising stuff, because that aspect has always interested me. So if we could get a large portion of this Mount Tantus storyline, not to say over with, but like it just leaves room for a lot more unknown. And I like unknown stuff. It's more exciting, especially in the weeks in between, and in the streams like right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't know those are interesting titles. Spoilers, question mark, or no, I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe it's for something completely
Yeah.
different. Alex Liu says hey, and says Exegol will be hinted at. He is his prediction. Okay. Speaking of, I'll put a little. Kind of want to put a poll though. Actually, though, on like, will what do I want to ask though? I kind of want to ask like, will will these 2 episodes kind of like wrap up the Mount Tantus storyline? I don't know. Will the mid? Well, I don't want to. Actually, never mind. Never mind. Thinking on the fly here. I don't want to ask that question. I don't like it. But so yeah, after those first 3 episodes, then we similarly are moving along pretty quick in episode 4, where at first I was like, oh, I hope they're not stuck in the wilderness for a whole episode. Like, I mean, that could be cool, but they sped it up quick, and we get some gambling in a town, and then by the end of it, they've already are met back up with the crew by episode 4, which was another shock for me. Of like, some people are like, I don't know, the pacing's kind of slow, but I'm like, but the accomplished level of how much we've actually accomplished in 4 episodes, like they've broken out of the prison and have got the gang all back together in 4 episodes. That's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it is. And I think I was gonna say, I don't know what I was gonna say. My brain just absolutely fried itself. I don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know.
Oh, you're good. Alex Lou, help me out with the chat. I'll ask that question for the poll. And also, Icy, sorry to hear that you're sick. Hope you feel better. I think infiltration, they're gonna go recruit the other clones and try to infiltrate Tantus, and extraction will probably be them leaving with something valuable. Who knows? Yeah, maybe they pull off a heist and mess with Palpatine's plans. Project Necromancer, right? That's the one. It's like all these names are easy to come up with when you're not live, and then you go live, and then sometimes they just start blanking a little bit. But
just slip from the from the front of your head.
Can I just? I'm trying to see if can I just copy this question. It's Control C, Control V. There we go. Okay. And then episode 5. I'm trying to think. That's what we just got. That was top 2 for me as far as these 2 episodes. Like the first episode and then episode 5 for me. Like they've all been, I think, a higher level of like, what's the word? Baseline value. I'm not really sure. Like compared to season 2, I think there's a little bit better animation. I would argue. Like the quality of the animation's a little bit better. And the music itself has been really captivating. I've been on the edge of my seat for most of these episodes. It's done a really good job of just keeping me like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, I think like, well, obviously the animators have gone off like insane this season. Like some of the some of the stills, like the I don't know if you remember, but like at the end of the episode 4, they were on that moon outside of Ryloth, which is where they were on season 1 when they met up with Hera. So like if you see a side by side shot, it's a remarkable difference. But like I think the reason there's so much weight is like there's a lot of emotional weight because I think it's similar to like the eeriness of season 7 of the Clone Wars. It's like at some point in this season it's going to go down, but you don't know when it's going to happen. So like we all knew that at some point in season 7 we were going to get Order 66 and there was going to be the whole that. Yeah. And so since we don't know who dies in this season, I think we're waiting for that moment because I mean we know who's alive in Rebels. I mean, obviously not all the clones would have probably stayed around to fight, but we know who's alive in Rebels. Mm-hmm. And so that leaves the question of who's going to die, who's, what's going to, because at least following how Disney's done all their shows, typically in the first half of the season, they get all the shots out from the original trailer. And we've gotten most of them except for that one heist. Yeah, and the turbo tanks.
Yeah, and Asajj Ventress, right? Like, is this tonight? I guess are we going to be seeing Asajj potentially?
That would be so sick if we saw her. I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I mean, that's something I think we mentioned last time is that like the biggest reveals are Commander Wolf and Asajj Ventress. So like, what else? Is awaiting at the end of that.
Yeah, because they don't give away every. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're onto something. I'm like thinking baseline here, but like it's not necessarily a question of like, when are we going back to Mount Tantus? I think we know we're going back to Mount Tantus. It's like what else? Like we see Asajj Ventress, but are we going to see somewhat like other Force user that we have no idea about? What if we get some kind of like failed half hybrid like prototype clone that Palpatine's like holding somewhere that I don't know, it's just like some weird theory, I guess. I'm sure that's what they're trying to do, so maybe that's a little bit ahead of themselves, but maybe there's some kind of results that they have to show that. And who is this Trooper Tech that this in the darker suits? Like, is this a clone of Tech? Is this Tech's remains gone bad?
Exactly. I mean, there's I think that's why it feels like I think this season has so much more emotional weight because there's so many more questions that we don't have answers to, and I think with Tech dying, if he did die last season, you don't know you don't know who else is on the chopping block because they've shown at least so far that anybody can bite the bullet, I guess.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. I still don't know if that's Tech or a new character. Like I'm just so because I think the either way the good Tech is gone. I think that's a I don't see Tech like coming out of nowhere like hey I'm back, but only in a way that would be against the Bad Batch. Uh, Dan the stay on target pilot hopped in the chat. Gonna be epic mid-season finale. Hope to see Asajj. Yeah, I'm there with you. I think it's time. Like we've seen most of the scenes from the trailer, like you're saying, and it's nice when you get through those earlier on in a season because it's just like we're saying, the more unknown, right? The more unknowns we get.
yeah, exactly. So I again had something and I'm blanking on it. I was like I had something blanking. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah, no, I feel like there's certain things I wanted to touch on. But yeah, I mean, I think immediately in episode 4, like when they crash landed, like Tech and or Teak, but why am I saying Teak? Crosshair and Omega stuck in my head, but Omega's like immediately get it, like trying to get the coordinates right. So we're like they're teasing that even there, that already thinking ahead. We gotta break out those clones. Is it? I don't know. Is that true? Ventress apparently dies in Dark Disciple. I haven't read it, so I wouldn't know.
From what I've read, I haven't read the full book, but from what I read, at the end of Man of Steel, like no, not Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman,
Yeah.
where like above the coffin something starts to rise.
Hmm.
From what I understand, that's what happened at the end of the book.
Okay.
So like she was buried on Dathomir, and then something was thrown in her coffin and started to rise.
Well, that
So
would
like
make sense if she's buried on. If somebody's buried on Dathomir, I'm counting them as not dead. I'll be honest. I don't. Especially if they're like a named character, I think they can come back. But
yeah, I also think like it in that scenario that she's buried on Dathomir, it could be something that ties right directly back into Ahsoka with all the Night Sisters. I mean, they're trying to make everything connected here, so like everything's supposed to connect to something else. So like her coming back could simply just be connecting to whatever Thrawn was doing with the old witches on Dathomir or Peridia. So that's kind of how I see it. It's like if she's coming, she's probably doing something that's related to that, or you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Honestly, I still don't even really necessarily know. I know some things about the Dark Disciple book, but I mean, is it like fully canon, and does it take place before or kind of during this time period?
It's fully canon, and they said that they were gonna go. The writer said that they were going to go off of it, so like they didn't change anything. So that's probably why the Dusk Rising is probably going to be referenced, but I think it happened right after Revenge of the Sith. So I think probably like a year or so before this, maybe a year and a half.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. What's up, Jonah Keffer? How's it going? Clip Films Melbourne. If someone let Zilla Beast escape on Mount Tantus, destroying inside the mountain facility, I would like to see the Beast eat Dr. Hemlock. That's crazy. But I mean, not wrong. Hemlock kind of creeps me out. I think he's supposed to, but like just how he like and there's something with his like arm or like his hand. Like he's like I don't know. Wasn't there? He was doing some.
Yeah, he always holds his hand. It's like the same hand that Tech always holds. He's always holding his hand like this or something.
I'm gonna ask a poll in the chat. Will we see Asajj Ventress tonight? I guess. I would like to hear the thoughts. What's the over under looking like? Yeah. And there's so much between Bad Batch for like releasing, and like obviously we want to talk a lot of Bad Batch, but there's been a lot of Star Wars news just in general besides Bad Batch. So we actually, like, at least for the most part, we haven't gotten an official trailer, but I saw the Acolyte has an official Twitter, or at least like it, account. So I think they're getting ready here shortly, probably to release some promotion. But that's supposed to come out in June.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that they're even starting to work on a second season of it, which I'm very surprised about. I'm
Wow.
excited for it, but I didn't know that it would be like that hype that they're like, oh, we might actually do another one of it. But
Wow, that is
no,
bold.
yeah, definitely. But no, I'm with you though. They're definitely ramping it up. Uh, what's his name? The actor who played Lando in Solo. He looks like he's dressed to play Lando already. He's got the mustache and everything. I don't know if you
Nice.
saw pictures of him from the red
Is
carpet, but like
oh,
he's his aura is just Lando, and it's amazing.
that's great to hear. I didn't see those pictures from the red carpet, but I appreciate that info because yeah, that's another thing. Like that's actually it is kind of up there. I do want to see a Lando show, especially with the Darth Maul like storyline that's teased at the end of Solo that just isn't touched on. Like I would like some way they show that more so in live action or just any medium. It doesn't have to be live action. Um,
Yeah.
they're saying June 5th. June is a stacked month for shows though, from what I've seen. So I've seen the Acolyte is supposed to come out, House of the Dragon, which other than Star Wars shows, that's like a top like I'm super pumped for that one. The Boys season 4 is supposed to come out in June as well. And then there's one other one I'm forgetting, but it's like a really stacked month. I wonder if that will like impact anything. I'm not sure though.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm also curious to see if they're going to change the release time to be more competitive because like I like staying up for the 3 a.m. drops, but like that's not something that everyone can
Yeah.
do. So like I could imagine they change the drop for Acolyte to an earlier time,
Yeah,
like eight
why did
o'clock.
they? Yeah, why did they revert back? That's my biggest like. It was so nice with Ahsoka, and like it was really nice, and then all of a sudden, like, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Like I
I
can't do that. Like I gotta wake up and watch them. Like that's my best bet. But
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I know that they're trying to be fair to audiences in Europe, but they're also trying to be fair to audiences here. It's like they can't really make up their mind, which
yeah,
you know.
I I get it. Somebody's gonna be getting the short end of the stick. My only like I'm a little biased because it benefits me, right? But I mean, they make most of this stuff in Hollywood, right? Like, I don't know, maybe release based off where you make it. I don't know. It's tough to say. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah, I don't know. It looks pretty 50-50 as far as the Saj Ventures goes. I guess if people are watching, I'd love to hear some theories on if we do see a Saj Ventress and how will she like play an impact? Like what will cause her to show up in what form? I guess like will the Bad Batch run into her, or will she be doing her own thing? Like I guess like is it like a side story that I mean eventually I'd expect them to kind of interact for something, um, or is this going to be some kind of like more side story that eventually connects at the end or later on into the road? I guess if you get what I'm saying.
I think I think she runs into the Bad Batch, but like part of me thinks that they're also trying to maybe potentially like have something like I can't imagine that they'd want to just like tie the knot with this show because I mean like the era between the prequels and the originals is like 20 years, just 20 years of stuff. I mean, you have Rebels and you have Andor, so like I could and you have obviously Kenobi and Solo, but like you have like years between Bad Batch and Kenobi, and then years between Kenobi and Rebels slash Andor, and so you might want to put like a show with like another animated show, for example, because
Hmm.
I heard they were I heard that Disney was opening up um, uh, applicate or taking applications for new animators. So like I
Really?
think they're hiring new animators. So
That's
I could
good.
imagine that they want to fill in those gaps.
Wait.
Um,
Well, that's good news.
that is fan. I am for it. I am all for Star Wars animation. Star Wars is like always peak in animation, but
Yeah.
um, I could imagine that like maybe not like a one-off with her, but she not because I can't see her just like being best buds with the Bad Batch.
Mhm.
I don't really see her doing that just because at least from what we last saw of her, she doesn't really seem like in the mood to do
Yeah,
that.
seems somewhat. Yeah, maybe
So
more in between. Maybe a little. I mean, her blade's yellow, right? I mean, I don't know if that.
yeah,
Like lightsaber color is certainly important, but I don't think it's like definitely fully telling of the story, right? There's a lot of intricacies going on. I
yeah.
mean, heck, the person that has probably one of the highest Jedi kill count was using a blue lightsaber when doing it. But um, anti-hero says somebody. I don't think the Bad Batch will fight Ventress, says Alex. Trying to just catch up in here a little bit. Asking about some of your what ifs on Barris. Isn't there whispers of Disney making a Star Wars what if? Yeah, we talked about that here actually. We did a live stream a couple months ago, I'd probably say. We went in depth there. Definitely check it out. That was a fun one. But just talking about the idea of Star Wars actually doing, Star Wars what ifs, which if anything helps, there can never be. I'd love to see it more, and obviously like fully fleshed out animation. It doesn't change the creators. There's still a million different possibilities, and if anything, they might utilize some of your ideas or someone else's ideas too in it, which would be fun.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm all here for more content, honestly.
yeah, definitely. And so yeah, so we got Acolyte in June after, and then I guess is Skeleton Crew next on the plate? And then I heard that Andor is potentially getting pushed into this year, the end of this year.
Yeah, yeah. So we should have Tales of the Jedi season 2. Some that's supposed to come out sometime. I don't know when. Acolyte, obviously, and then Skeleton Crew. I think they said Skeleton Crew would be like an October release. So I don't know how long
Ooh,
Acolyte's supposed to
oh,
be, but
Halloween spooky
probably
season.
longer. Yeah.
That could be fun.
But no, I did hear what you said because they did talk about the potential of moving Andor up until like the November or December window,
Well,
which is
that's
crazy.
just yeah, that's just great. No,
Yeah.
no, I'm excited. I'm excited, but got to keep my status
Yeah.
quo here. But no, I'm looking forward to it. Oh, something I want to ask Tip. Have you seen the? I don't know. Have you seen any of the Dune movies or the new Dune or not
No,
interested?
I haven't seen anything with it. I have to since like I'm connected to my parents' Netflix. I don't have the ability to watch Netflix except for like on a laptop. So
Oh yeah, fair.
I know Dune's on there, but I don't feel like watching it. I guess, but
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I was just
how
gonna say,
about you?
I recently saw the well, a week ago or like a week and a half ago, I hadn't seen either, but while I was on vacation, I was like, you know what, I'll watch Dune 1, and then it was like good. I'm like, oh, I'll go see it in the theater, and let me tell you, that was definitely a cinema. That was like a really good experience in theaters. Like it did a lot of stuff, I guess, just I don't know, right in all aspects of film. Like I'm just like on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like the cinematography, it was crazy, and the story was like crazy. Of course, I haven't read the book, but like the older I've gotten and the more I've I guess reviewed or talked about stuff, the more I'm beginning to realize like whether something has a book or a movie, you kind of like you're gonna be biased to whatever you probably see first a little bit potentially, but you should take them as their own separate mediums almost. Like for example, like Game of Thrones, like I've watched all the show fully like multiple times, and I'm like currently reading the books, and while the books have more details and go storylines that the show doesn't have, I can still appreciate the show and the book for what they are. Like I just kind of am seeing them as two different things, because how can you expect a movie to do as much on screen in like 2 hours than a book that has like infinite words, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always interesting when you read like a book, like especially like for the most recent Hunger Games. That was the first time I read a book before seeing the movie, and it was like I think having been able to read the book, I had like a lot more insight going into it. But like it didn't take away from the movie. It just made it a more enjoyable experience, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, because yeah, if you
Yeah.
read the book beforehand too, then like if they get some details that you're like, oh, that's what that is, where some people might not know what that is, it's like rewarding also too.
Yeah.
I think there are instances though where like definitely the book isn't served, I guess, like justice per se, and like I can't like use the like it's its own thing. For example, like the first Avatar, the Last Airbender like movie, like the first one that came out, compared to like, well, that's not even necessarily a book, but like the show versus the live action movie. That live action movie was so bad compared to the show. Like it was like that is might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I want to check out the new live action show though that came out because I saw the trailer for it and it looked really good. Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender? I'm not sure. I would really like
No.
that. That's where Dave Filoni like kind of comes from as far as like animation. That's what got him his job basically at Lucasfilm. Cool little, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, I'm sure you've probably heard that, but
Oh yeah. No, I think it's awesome.
yeah, dude, if you get a chance sometimes in some downtime, I think we're in the thick of it in the Star Wars season. But Avatar: The Last Airbender, like the animated, is definitely like one of the best shows I've seen. It's just nice and complete, kind of for everyone. But yeah, all right. I've
Awesome.
led us off a tangent of Star Wars, and but I guess we should come back and talk a little bit more Bad Batch. But let me see. I guess is there anything in particular you wanna touch on?
Not that I can think of.
I will say, is that a new figure? The Din figure, or did I just not notice it before?
Oh, I've had this for forever. It's like a phone holder. So like I always have
Oh,
my phone set up. So like you just put your phone on it like that.
oh,
And
nice.
yeah. Yeah. My friend got it for me for like Christmas or something.
I don't know how like just noticing that. Well, that's like perfect.
Yeah, it's super cool. I have no idea where he found it from, but he was like, since you always have your phone and you're always holding it, I was like, oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's nice. I could use one of them for sure.
Yeah,
Trying
man.
to see. Um, oh, I don't think the Bad Batch will. So I don't know. It seems like a lot of people think that we're gonna see, or like I guess the majority of people think we're gonna see Ventures Night. Some people don't. I think it would make sense. I guess either way. I would appreciate, or like I would like it if we see Ventures because, like we talked about, if we get past what we've seen in the trailer, that means there's more unknown, and I like watching shows in the unknown.
I do too. I'm not gonna lie though, this is what I'm predicting for tonight. I think we're going to see the wolf because there was like a part of the trailer where Commander Wolf showed up, and since it's titled, what's it titled again? It's called
and it's
Extraction and or Infiltration and Extraction. We might be seeing. I'm thinking we're going to see no Pauldron Rex, and maybe the extraction of another clone like Wolf, for example,
okay.
or Cody, maybe even Commander Cody. But
Yeah.
um, I I feel like I feel at least like that the name Infiltration and Extraction relates more to clones, but I'm not sure. I think I mentioned this last time though. The one scene with like the turbo tanks on the I don't know why I'm holding it down with like on the edge of a cliff that looked like Ryloth
Yeah,
from
yeah,
season
we
one of
talked about
Clone
it a little
Wars.
bit last time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and
yeah,
I think yeah, no, that would be a great planet to revisit just because it had such an impact in the Clone Wars show and just an impact in the galaxy of its own. It'd be great to kind of return there. So that'd be a big call if you got that right because I was a little I couldn't tell per se, but it looked like it. Your explanation of like the scene with like Mace Windu and all them like they're climbing with the what are they ATSTs? I forget like the larger
the ATTEs. Yeah,
yeah ATTs going up the cliffs and stuff that did look very similar. Um, uh, yeah, what's up, LEB? Just discussing Bad Batch. Can, oh, something was on the tip of my. Oh, I think I've lost it. We're
I
having one
passed
of
it
those.
back to you.
Oh, no. Um. Oh shoot. Had to do with. Oh. Yeah. No. Okay. I like the idea though. Like, or your prediction of them maybe extracting a clone, maybe somebody that has some information that we super valuable. Um or invaluable, I guess, right, to the empire. Um,
Yeah.
and I would love to see Cody. It's been a minute too. Uh,
I'm a little nervous about seeing some of these clones because like
could be the last
they're
time we
not
see some.
rebels. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and Cody Cody is my favorite clone, so um, I don't know if I'm ready if it's coming. That one will hit hard. I gotta find this picture of me, but I dressed up, I think, at least, well, for sure 1 year, but maybe twice, as for Halloween, like one of those Commander Cody with the face mask and everything for Halloween. It's definitely my favorite clone. That was my go-to. Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, heck yeah, man. Who did you dress up as? I guess Halloween.
Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Oh my, that's a good one.
Motley Crue and Kiss were my first concert, so I was like, yeah. I only like 5 songs, but
Heck yeah, man. I sometimes forget, and you literally have a guitar in the background, like you like are a musician as well. It seems everyone I talk to on the internet is a musician, and I'm just a mumbling like dude. Just I don't know.
ah.
No, it's funny. You ever think about, or have you considered, I guess, making some of your own tracks for some of your like videos, I guess?
Yeah, the I so funny, I was going through my photos and I told my friend when I was doing it, the intro theme to the Sith Clone Wars or the miniseries that I have, that I wrote that and I had a video of when I actually made it. And so like I was like, what's this? What's this? It's a video of me wearing a I'm wearing this fucking hat. So I'll put this on for you guys. I'm wearing this hat. I'm wearing a tank top. It was like the middle of summer and I was like making it and my friend was talking to me and I was like right around the intro theme and then I found it and it was like it's kind of cool. But yeah, no,
Did you
it's
have the
definitely been an
rockstar
idea.
hair on too, or like do you still have the rockstar hair
Yeah,
and doing it? Heck yeah.
yeah, it was all tied up in a ponytail, but like yeah, I still had the long hair and everything. But no,
That's awesome.
it's definitely something I've been wanting to do because like making tracks for characters for example like characters that are prevalent in videos for example like Satine or Plo Koon or something like that because they don't have themes and I was like well it'd be cool to make a theme for those characters so that's kind of something I wanted to do.
Heck yeah, man. That I love that. I love that. We are. I guess I can talk about this now, but like, me and Stay on Target are in collaboration, working on a musical project. I'll say that at least it was announced, but no, looking forward to
Awesome.
that. I, I okay, we'll back up there, but no, I'm excited for people to I guess see more of it though. I've always like enjoyed music. I just I mean my sister, she's a musician as well. Like that's her full time position too. But I didn't have the patience to like necessarily learn how to play stuff. But I've always liked like rhythms and I guess rhymes, poetry, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I guess you guys will have to see. Uh, but
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
heck
Can't
yeah,
wait to hear it.
heck yeah. I'm pumped. Hopefully, lives up to status quo, but or exceeds. But yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, back to Bad Batch. We're getting off target a little bit, but that's the fun of the live streams, though. Just kind of hanging out, talking whatever. Um. Yeah, it seems like it's evening out to 50-50 on the Asajj Ventress, though. People, I think that's about how I feel. I think it's about 50-50 though. Like, um, but based off the titles, I think I'm leaning towards your prediction, considering you know are working on what ifs essentially every day. I think you would have a good understanding of what might happen. But I'll put my chips on Anthony here.
Oh man.
My word. Okay. Well, oh yeah. Let's get a. So I'm gonna end the poll there, but if you guys have questions in the chat for us or theories, because I want to hear everyone's kind of predictions. That's what this is for the. We're already. It goes by so quick, especially since they released 3 episodes. But we're already. I mean, it's technically not halfway, but kind of halfway, right? Like, basically with this double release. But in the comments, let me know some of your predictions for tonight. What's going to happen in these 2 episodes? Whether it's like characters, who's showing up, potentially character deaths, right? What are they going back to Tantus? What do you guys want to have to say? But yeah. So you heard somewhere though that Acolyte, they're already potentially working on a season 2 though.
Yeah, I heard. That's what I heard at least. I mean, you never know with Twitter, but it was just like one of those passing by things. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there's a big emphasis for them to go like out of the main Skywalker saga. And I think a good way to do that is go backwards because, like, I think coming out in the next month or so is that book that takes place. It's like a big book for the Jedi High Council for a year before the events of Phantom Menace. So like, I think there's an emphasis to go backwards, and I think Jedi Survivor's made Jedi Survivor, Ahsoka. They've all made references to the High Republic, and then of course I think there was somewhere else that made a reference to it. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they want to go that direction because if they keep going backwards and they can keep going further backwards and keep going further forwards. I mean, obviously you have the main timeline that you can fill up with everything because it's a large galaxy, but I think
and honestly that's what I want though. I do want some, like, as much as I love like everything, we've gotten a lot of it, and I love a lot of the old Republic stuff, so I'd like to eventually get over there. Playing Jedi Survivor, playing through that interested me on some of the the potential of High Republic. So if they think they've got a winner in the Acolyte already, that's encouraging. If they're working on a season 2, like, because usually they're more so reaction based on what they do. Like they put it out, if it does well, they do another season. I think they usually have ideas in mind, right? But if they're already working on it, then they must be pretty confident on it. But yeah, we'll have to see. That's awesome. Alex Liu says, I think Wolf might be a spy for the Clone Underground and then have his cover blown. So is that who we might extract, kind of like what you were saying? Like maybe he's like on the inside?
Potentially. I don't know. What do you think?
It's tough to say. I think you're on the money as far as like there's got to be somebody important, and it's gonna be a clone that they gotta extract. Like if Crosshairs ended up getting tested on, there's gonna test on anyone. Like if a commander speaks out of turn, we know that they don't care about the clones anymore. It doesn't matter how high ranking of a clone you are, you're gonna be treated like garbage by the Empire. That's just the reality of it, the sad reality. I think it could be somebody kind of getting pulled out. Oh no, there was something else I wanted to say, but it's. Give me a second here. Has to do with whatever. It'll come back to me at some point. Something along these lines, though. I had something more to say other than just that, but yeah, a lot of conversations going on in the chat. I'm trying to pin through. If you guys type Bismo, it shows up red too, so I can kind of like helps me filter out kind of what is a question versus don't necessarily need to, but yeah, but a bit out of it.
Did you see Ewan and his wife Winfield? They were on Fallon last night, and they were talking about potential season 2s for their shows, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we're starting on Ahsoka season 2," and Ewan was like, "Oh, I don't know about season 2 for Kenobi, but I'm waiting the call," or
yeah, I did see
call, so.
I did see you, or at least see that you once said that they're still waiting on that, but more talk on Ahsoka season 2. That's exciting. We like to hear that. I hope Kenobi gets a season 2. For me personally, I hope it's a little bit different. This is a little bit different. I'd love to explore more of the like Force and like Qui-Gon and Force Ghost and all that, and like the training. Like, how does one become a Force Ghost? I think that would be a great storyline. It'd get a little sweaty, and I can understand maybe it'd be hard to like get a casual viewer into it, but I feel like a lot of people would appreciate something like that. I don't know. What do you think?
I think like there's even potential. I mean, I don't know how likely it is. I don't know if there's anything saying about if Obi-Wan ever left Tatooine after the events of Kenobi, but like you could even have him go from Tatooine to Dagobah and interact with Yoda. You know, I doubt he goes and fights the Empire in any way, shape, or form, but like you could have an interaction with Yoda or something in there, or like
Hmm.
like what they did in Rebels, where they were in the Jedi Temple and Ahsoka and Ezra both saw Yoda through the Force. So maybe something like that, but not
Yeah,
through a temple, but something else. I mean,
yeah.
I think
I would love for it to get sweaty like that.
yeah. I mean, like you said, I don't know for a casual fan it would be the most interesting thing ever because like the allure to season one was the fight, the rematch between Obi-Wan and Vader, which was did not disappoint honestly. But like I think this one would be harder for like the casual Star Wars fan to get into because like if you go too far to midichlorians or the Force itself, casual fans kind of like they
Yeah.
kind of pull back a little bit. So
Yeah, I agree. At the same time, I still feel like there's enough hardcore people, or even maybe people that maybe aren't even like, you know, maybe they're not happy with some of the stuff that's come out that would check something like that out. Though it might could bring back maybe some people that maybe are like, I guess, a little bit disillusioned right now per se. But Ellie V asked, Bismo, do you think we'll have any surprise cameos tonight besides Ventress? A prediction I have, I'll say, is I think we're gonna see that clone trooper with like the dark armor tonight, and we're gonna get a reveal potentially who that is, or we'll at least see that like they'll have a role tonight. I think that's gonna be my prediction. We haven't seen them really yet at all, and I think it's time to start playing some of these actual pieces compared to the pawns.
you know what I'm wondering is if that one clone trooper is going to end up being like a Merrick because remember when Ahsoka was coming out, everyone was like, "That's Ezra." It's like
Yeah,
it could
it's
be
Star
another
Killer.
like it's exactly. It could be one of those situations where it's like we're like, could it be, and it's like just a random clone. But
Mhm.
I mean, I'm curious about that as well. Like,
Yeah.
and we know from the trailers that they end up finding Pabu, so I mean, they could be something on Pabu as well. I don't know.
Yeah. True. That'll be tough. I was kind of hoping we would see those three reg clones when we were like briefly on Pabu. Did we see them or?
Oh yeah, no, we didn't see them, but
It'd be nice to see them again. I liked. I don't know. I like that perspective. I thought that it was an interesting like, what is a clone that's like so like it's like kind of like the last batch of clones that are kind of put into this pretty tough world that doesn't really fit for them. Like, how do they kind of fit in? Mm. I was kind of thinking like maybe they could pick up the pieces of where the Bad Batch, if people from the Bad Batch like die, maybe they could like step up. I don't know if they really have much of a. I don't know if we'll see them again. Is what I'm getting at, but it would be nice to see.
yeah, I mean, we've seen at least that like we've seen things come full circle. Like I said earlier with the Ryloth or the moon outside Ryloth being the spot where they met Hera, but also the spot where Crosshair and Omega met with the rest of the batch. So like I mean, it could be one of those things where we don't see them show up till later on down the season. I actually I'm curious though. Do you think we might have another time skip this season because we did have that time skip at the beginning of the season, which was like I
Hmm.
think 5 months, and then or
Yeah,
something
I think
like
it was
that, like
120
a large
days.
yeah. So like will there be another time skip some point in this season that
Uh,
we might like
I I don't know, but I hope so. I'll say that. Like, I think that time skips, especially in something like this, could really impact the story. Especially like some of these things are taking longer. Like it's taking longer for them to get breakthroughs in the research. But also, I want to see more of Omega developing. I guess right. That's where I'm at because it would be nice to see. I guess like her really kind of take charge. I guess like she kind of has already, but like more confidently, right? Just a little bit more older. I said this really interesting question, actually. Good prediction here from Alex Liu asking, what if it's Nala Se that's getting extracted? Because I think that's a really good call there. That could very well be it.
It could be. The question, I guess, is do you reckon that even Omega would care enough about her? I mean, at least even in my own videos, like I've got comments about Nalase being like, well, remember what she did to Fives? Like, yeah, she definitely did that to Fives, and so is she redeemable enough to be getting that kind of, I guess, protective treatment?
Well, I think she, especially for Omega, she has a very compassionate heart. If Tech, or why do I keep saying Tech? If Crosshair can be forgiven, um, I think that she could for sure forgive Nalase. Obviously, it's very different, but
Yeah.
to some extent, Nalase helped her escape, right? Ultimately, she helped her escape. So whether it's out of feeling she owes helping her out, and also for like 120 days, she basically, saved her life per se by getting rid of the blood samples. Like, not everyone's like 100% light side, 100% dark side. Like, Nalase is not necessarily completely evil, right? Or not necessarily. There's aspects of her, I guess, worth saving. And if she is she the like last of the Kaminoans also?
Um, there's a one senator on Coruscant who's not a senator anymore, and then yeah, I think she and maybe I don't remember seeing any other Kaminoans on Tantus aside from her.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know
she's
what they
the
did
only
with.
one on Tantus, the prime minister.
Yeah, I don't know what they did with Lamasu. I remember him being on there, but I think he got sent back to Coruscant. Those are the only three I can remember. I mean, she might actually be the last of her kind, but I mean, I guess the question is, for an extraction for her, would it be, do you? Because like she's probably one of the more instrumental people, even though she's resistant. One of the most, or I guess, the anchor of what ends up being Necromancer's full completion. So like her extraction or her death could end up slowing that down.
Yeah, definitely. I really like this idea, and I'm definitely will be looking like, I don't know. It's fun doing these because I can get sway. Like, some things I'm like firm on, but also through talking or seeing other people, it like can sway what your maybe not expectations, but like what you think might happen. It kind of is the fun of it too. Um, Alex Liu says Lamasu is a prisoner on Coruscant. Ton Wei was killed on Bora Vio.
She's the one who met Obi-Wan on an Attack of the Clones.
I remember
Yeah,
Boba saying the name, I think, at some point. Boba Fett.
yeah.
Boba Fett. But what I was more so, what is this Bora Vio? Is that, or am I saying it
It's
wrong?
it's a Kaminoan cloning colony, so it's like in a gas giant. It's a when Cad Bane and Shen are fighting over Omega, they go to it looks kind of like Cloud City, but instead of Cloud City, it's basically the Tapoka City, but like in the air.
Okay,
Um,
so there's
but it was like
potential for other colonies. That brings the idea. There's potential. There's other Kaminoans out there anyhow, though. It sounds like, if there's.
well, it was abandoned, so like the entire colony was kind of just left behind.
Oh, okay.
Um, but like for example, there was like a scene where Omega and Shen were in there, and she opened up one of the pods, and like a Kaminoan fell on Shen, and then she used that to escape. So
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah. In my uprising, what if the clone uprising? What if I had done? I made a new city, like I think rather than Topoka, or what's the actual one called? Because I made my other
Tapoka City.
Topoka. I made it like Topico, Topico, just like slightly different, but it was like on the other side of the planet. Who's they
Yeah,
didn't blow up Camino fully; they just destroyed like the city, right?
yeah, they just sunk it.
Who's to say there aren't other Kaminoans out there though? I don't know, but it does seem like they're either way not in a good spot, and I think it would make sense for Omega's character that Analase could be a character that would consider extracting, or maybe their primary objective is a wolf character, but while they're there, Omega's like, Nala say, we gotta get her too, and they get multiple people too. That's tough. It's tough to. It'd be tough to pick and choose there, I guess. Who gets to come with.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
and that's the
I'm
darker
excited to
tone of
find
it.
out.
That's the thing. Like it's more of a realistic, I guess, season with the fatality of certain things and just the reality of how the empire is cruel. I mean, they're using living, sentient beings as test subjects to further their goals, and really just an individual's goals that just a single individual's goals, really. But yeah,
Yeah.
tough. The Travis Mitchell, the last we saw Boba Fett, he was in Republic prison, which is now an Imperial prison. I feel like Hemlock would use him given his unaltered DNA. I could see him in prison on Tantus as well. That'd be cool. That'd be interesting. I would love to see like an Omega and Boba dynamic too, because they should be around like similar-ish. Well, Boba's probably a little older. I don't
I
know.
think they're the same age.
They're the same age.
But
Well, that would be a fun dynamic, though.
yeah, but in regards to Boba being inside the prison, he was broken out at some point because there was an arc with the Asajj Ventress in season 5 where he was doing a mission with a bunch of other
Yeah,
bounty hunters. I don't
yeah. I
um
agree.
it was with I think they were blue people. They weren't Chiss. I don't know. They weren't blue. I think they were gray. I think they were gray people. But
I
they rode like
remember.
giant centipedes.
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about. I guess I wasn't entirely sure what if there was something that happened like after that, but I do remember a scene where Boba's. If anything, they're. It's a tough. It was a tough life for him though. If I recall, they were kind of with his
Yeah.
dad not around. He's gotta do everything on his own, and
Yeah.
I don't know. His uprising, I guess, turns him into the bounty hunter he is. Right.
Yeah. So
That would be that would be great. What if we did see a character like Boba Fett though? Maybe not tonight, but during the season. Like as far as like characters that could show up that aren't in the trailer and then be fun reveals, that would be a fun one to see. And I think being a clone, being that this could be the last purely clone animation we get, it would be nice to see Boba Fett at some point and see what he's up to, or if he has some kind of impact at the story at large here.
yeah, I think that'd be great to see.
Heck yeah, man. What I'm looking through here. That was when he got the dent on his helmet. Wasn't that the fight between Cad Bane that was never actually shown?
Yeah, it's if you remember the original Bad Batch arc before it ever came out, when it was still like the lost seasons that was supposed to be the end of season 6, it was like in that rough animation. That was
Yeah.
that was supposed to be season 7, I think.
Yeah, I remember
But
seeing like the rough animation or whatever. It would have been nice to see. Uh,
yeah,
like the end of. I mean, I love Clone Wars season 7, but that something about that like last season of Clone Wars before that. Oh, I guess second last season. Just that arc and like the mystery of like they're so close to figuring out Order 66. It's almost like they're right there, but it makes sense that if they were going to end it to end around there, because ultimately they can't win. They can't fully tie the strings all together. Same with like in Tales with like Yaddle. Like it's so interesting, like seeing a story unfold. Like they figured it all out, right? Or like, but ultimately, we can't break the storyline here.
yeah, I know. Because I like in the last seasons, it was like Yoda was like, we found that Count Dooku was behind the creation of the clone army. We can't tell the Chancellor. And Anakin's just like looking around, like, oh, we're just not going to tell him that we found out that Dooku created our army. And like, it's just like, or or when he has a vision of the fight in the industrial sector, he's like, he literally has a vision of fighting with Anakin against Dooku and Sidious in the industrial sector, and then just never goes there.
Yeah, yeah, right.
I love it though. I love
Yeah.
that mystery though. especially the fives arc. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, so sad. Or at least am I thinking of it right? That the clone that like had it all figured out, but ultimately got detained, and was that?
Yeah, that was fives. The
Okay,
one who
yeah,
was shot by Fox.
yeah. That was that was so brutal. That was like biggest heartbreak, I think. I don't know,
Yeah, man.
but that's what makes it good. That's what makes it good.
Honestly.
Yeah, Bingus. Okay. Wish the storyline could be broken right. I mean, that's what makes it. I mean, that's what makes the original storyline so good too, though. Like wanting it to change because it's so brutal. Um, you know, but yeah, no. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot more necessarily to cover. If you got any last minute predictions, I guess. Well, I mean, let's go through. What's your kind of rundown for tonight? What do you expect? I guess just as a refresher.
Probably starting off. See that's where I'm kind of coming to, like, maybe it's Pabu, but I can't imagine they would just drop that on us. I don't. I think it would have to take a setup for them to find Pabu. I don't know if there's any other doubles, but what I think is going to be like a traditional Bad Batch episode where it starts off and they're potentially they're just like, I don't know, they're on a mission and they're on like Ryloth, remember how season 2 started off and they're on that tropical planet and they come running out of the forest.
Yep.
I think something like that could be how it starts off, and it's on Ryloth and they're with Rex or whatever, because they're not flying. They're not flying the. I almost called it Razor Crest, the Marauder. Um, they're not. They're not flying the Marauder, so
Yeah.
they might be with Cody and Echo, or not Cody. Sorry, I saw Cody in the chat.
Yeah,
Rex and
yeah.
Echo.
I saw Cody too. I hope not. I hope this is not the end for Cody. But
Yeah,
it's at some
I don't
point
know.
I feel like it might happen. Yeah, no. So it starts off kind of like that. Do you think we'll eventually
Yeah,
get to Tantus or?
I don't know if it gets to Tantus. I mean, I know it says infiltration, um, but the infiltration and extraction. I guess that. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know because
they do tend to like actually. I get what you're saying because they do tend to drop these names and then it's not at all what you think, though.
yeah, like I don't know. When I read the name The Return, I definitely didn't think we're going back to the ice planet. Like, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Which
So I mean,
I love that episode, by the way, though. Like it was great to just see that Crosshair and Hunter. I guess bigger scenes between them. And I also really enjoyed Echo being back in it.
yeah, I agree. And the thing, I'm like looking at it the way, like, because I do the same thing with titles for the miniseries that I do, and it's obviously not nearly as large a scale, but like I always try and pick a name for an episode that covers something, but might also trick trick you to think of something else, essentially. So like,
Yeah.
it's double screwing with my mind. I don't know. What do you think?
I feel so. I want to now analyze what we just got in the last episode before I fully say. But in the last episode, they used Nalise's data pad to get information, but it sounded like they didn't get a whole lot of information. So, like they didn't get the location of the base. They got stuff that would help them to find it. So I can't necessarily tell as far as like Echo sounded excited, but not super excited. So it'd be tough for me to like unless they figured out a lot in the first episode, and then the 7th episode was like an extraction of Mount Tantus. That could happen, but I feel like the problem is that they didn't necessarily find those coordinates yet. So maybe it's an infiltration of a different base and an extraction of the actual coordinates to lead them to the base, which I don't know. Either way, I think we're in for some action though. Ultimately,
Yeah, I think it's going to be more clones versus stormtroopers kind of stuff rather than a big monster. Which I love Wrecker for saying, "Why is there always a big monster?"
yeah, that was super funny because I mean, kind of. There's been a lot of monsters. We've seen a lot of beasts that have never been seen before. That one episode with was it the Zillow or the Zeph or Zepho? Yeah, season 2, like large, like
Yeah, and they like shot lasers out of it, type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it was a Zepho, something like that.
yeah,
But
that was crazy. But there's a lot of stuff like that. What planet doesn't have a big monster? That's a good question. I'm trying to think of planets in the Star Wars universe, and I keep getting big monsters. Does Mustafar have a big monster?
uh, bog what something of bog, what Bishop bog, something bog,
So it does have
bog. What is it called? The Eye of Webbish Bog. Yeah, it's kind of a monster. It's like a force sensitive spider. It's yeah, it's what Vader
okay.
if you want context to that, it's Vader gave the Eye of Webbish Bog his Sith Wayfinder to Exegol, and that's why Kylo Ren's on Mustafar and the Rise of Skywalker. He's getting it from that, or he was
Okay.
supposed to originally. So, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, there you have it, though. There's a monster on every planet in Star Wars until someone can beg to differ. But I'm seeing,
I don't want to know what lives.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like every time I'm thinking of a planet, I'm like, oh, that seems pretty good, and then I'm like, oh, there's a monster. I'm like, oh, Naboo, and then I'm like, well, there's some giant fish monsters. But
I don't want to know what lives under the surface on Coruscant.
yeah, my word. Well, in the Kotar games, that's just it. There was some, I mean, there was some scary stuff down there, and some like a, I don't know if it necessarily, well, I don't know about a monster. Well, yeah, no, there was a monster, and like it would like infect in the game. It was like an infection, I guess, like almost like zombie like. Like
Oh,
it would turn you into a monster, and like on the surface of Coruscant. Very nasty business.
huh.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dagobah definitely crawling with a lot. In the concept art for Revenge of the Sith, a giant dragon comes out of the lava during Obi-Wan and Anakin's fight, and they have to kill it. That would have been
Oh yeah.
wow. That would have been a cool little like last little like working together and then get back into the fight. Wow, that would just so sad.
Yeah, no, I remember that concept art. Yeah, there's some crazy concept arts in Revenge of the Sith. Like there's a concept art. I've used it and it's an image in a couple of videos. But there's a concept art. Originally, I don't know when. I don't know if it was supposed to be during the Battle of Coruscant or for Order 66. But like either a Venator or an Acclimator crashed into the Jedi Temple and like ripped half of it open.
I feel like there's something similar like in a Old Republic like trailer kind
Kind
of,
of, kind of like that. But
but
like
like
the ship
bigger.
literally like
Like it breaks.
yeah,
Okay.
it's basically like that. It's crazy.
Wow, okay, that's crazy. I see
That's cool.
another like maybe prediction. I'm not sure. Travis is saying Sid is still on Ord Mattel, which is occupied by the Empire, so they could be extracting her. I hope not. I hope Sid dies. I'm gonna say it.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah. Dan saying that would have been epic if they Annie Obi fight had that monster together on Mustafar. Yeah, while fighting each other simultaneously. Yeah, that would add a lot to the scene. I mean, the scene's already so great, but it would be a fun. It would be a fun element. I mean, uh, with movies like especially like Star Wars or like Lord of the Rings for me, like I like to watch like if possible the extended editions. It's just like oh, just release them like that. But I get they like for the casual audience, maybe sometimes a 4 hour movie isn't the best play, but
Yeah.
I want more, and I know I shouldn't.
Oh yeah, some of those deleted scenes in Revenge of the Sith are great.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, absolutely
okay.
awesome. Well, I don't know. I think my other than like what you're saying, I think my prediction is I think we're gonna see that if it is Tantus or whatever, I think we will finally see that clone trooper and that dark armor, or at least they'll have a part to play. I don't think we'll see Asajj tonight, but I hope so. Yeah, I guess I lean to not Asajj. I think I've been swayed out of it. I don't think we'll see Asajj, but maybe we will, just based off the chat. But and what we've been talking about. But yeah, no, it's been fun talking. I hope we get
Yeah.
some great episodes, and we still got we got these 2 episodes and then 8 more after that, right? So
Yeah, it's crazy. You want to see them all, but you also don't want to like not enjoy the week to week thing. Like
yeah,
you'll get all of it, but like you also want to see it all at once.
Yep, it's tough.
So
It's a
good.
fine line. Like I could, do you want to? Yeah, no, no, it's great. Well, thanks again. If you haven't already, make sure to go check out Pen Patrol Star Wars in the title. Or, well, he's the GOAT of Star Wars What Ifs. I've said it, and I'll say it again.
Appreciate it.
But yeah. All right, well, that's gonna wrap it up. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Hopefully, Sid dies in this episode somehow. If we could get that, I think that would kind of make our day. With that being said, though, gonna head out of here. All right, see ya.
Thank you for having